Hi, everyone. This is my climate leadership story and my interview with Emma Bode about hers. Enjoy! My climate leadership story starts with my parents. When I was younger, they always emphasized the importance of being outside and treating nature with respect. I started to become interested in climate change action as a policy issue when I got to high school and started working on political campaigns and at local nonprofits. It was through one of these nonprofits that I met Emma Bode, a climate activist in Bozeman, Montana, and the founder of the Sustainability Now Club at MSU. Through working with people like Emma and other amazing climate activists in the state of Montana, I have found a passion for working towards climate action on both the governmental and the organizational level. In the future, I plan to use my power as both a voter and a pretty small scale activist to support candidates that I know will take action on climate change issues. With that, let's get to the interview with Emma Bode. Enjoy! Okay, so my first question is what sparked your interest in climate change and or like climate change action?
Mm, um, I think that I've spent a lot of time just with my family in the outdoors, camping and hiking, and my family really instilled in me like a strong connection with outdoor spaces. And through school, I learned a lot about environmental science and the impacts that we have on our environment, and was definitely pretty concerned about climate change, but wasn't really taking any sort of personal actions beyond recycling and like trying to bike and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but in undergrad, I also took a class with the Honors College. I think it was called, it was a convoluted name. It was like climate policy deadlock or something like that. I don't know. And we learned a lot about how to talk about climate change and how pressing it was, and that really like galvanized me to take some more like outward facing action. And I tried to get involved with the Sustainability Club at MSU, which at the time they had a club called NECO, like Network of Environmentally Conscious Organizations. But it had like literally just that previous semester disbanded because nobody was really doing anything for the club, and it wasn't gaining any kind of traction. I think it had its like big heyday probably a year or two before then. And so I went to the sustainability director's office and met another student who was also like pretty hyped on starting some kind of club, and we kind of rebranded Nico and turned it into Sustainability Now. And that's where I really like cut my chops in the climate movement.
Did you have any significant mentors or personal influences that really inspired you in this area?
I think there's a number of professors and faculty at MSU that were super supportive. Some really supportive, and some really instigatory. Is that a word?
I understand what
um,
you mean.
yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, Kristen Blackler, the sustainability director, was super helpful, and she was or I guess probably still is, the faculty sponsor of
She is.
Sustainability Now.
Yeah, she gave a talk for this class actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just very supportive and always willing to talk with students, and it was her that connected me with the other student, Matthew Bain, who helped start the club. We both co-founded it. And so that initial connection was super important. And then there's just been a variety of other really amazing people at MSU that helped. I don't know if you've met EJ Hook. He works in facilities on campus. He's like this kind of grovelly, like chain smoking guy who's like getting out there and fixing the sprinklers and maintaining the grounds, but he's hyped on sustainability and was always willing to try and figure out how we could work within the current university system to encourage just like more sustainable practices and help students navigate like the complexities of the university system. So EJ was a really great ally and also a good I don't know, a good person to instigate like pushing back against the system in ways that students can. And then also the professors who taught that first class, Tony Hartshorn, Douglas Fisher, and Scott Powell. It was like a three professor class. I don't know how they managed that. But they all in their own ways were inspiring to me.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, what skills do you have that you believe helped you be successful in climate activism?
Um, I think that the most important thing for me at the start was just this sense that if nobody else did it, like if I didn't do it, nobody else was going to do it. Um, and that sense of um, believing in the power of my own voice was really, really critical. And I think that the university system is just a really cool place to test that out and come into your own. In any kind of organizing, but especially I think climate organizing, it's really interesting because it's kind of like a smaller test piece of how government works and how policies work, but everything seems really tangible and on that smaller level feels like you can really make a difference in the kind of organizing that you're doing. And so I think that was pretty critical to me, feeling like I had a voice and I could make a difference. Um, yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, yes, very much. Um,
Cool.
so I think this one kind of is similar to the last one, which is what are skills that you would love to see in other climate activists or aspiring climate activists that you think would make the movement as a whole more successful?
When I started Sustainability Now with Matthew Bain, we were really focusing on how we could draw in sports enthusiasts and people who loved snow and skiing and winter to be more concerned about their environmental impact and the impact of the university system as a whole, which I think is a really important angle. And we do need to bring those people in. But over the course of the time that I've spent organizing for climate, I have learned so much about the importance of intersectionality in climate movements. And when I reflect back on like that lens that I held when we started the club, it was a really privileged lens. And I think that space was welcoming to people who had the privilege to be recreating outside and be able to own skis and get lift tickets and things like that. But it was definitely not welcoming to a lot of other communities and groups in Bozeman, in Montana, or at large. And so I think that this movement could really be galvanized and more inclusive by making sure that the way that we're approaching fixing environmental problems is bringing in all of those voices and making sure that like the basic premise of the organizing we're doing is accessible to everybody.
All right, that is all. Sadly, I had to cut out some of the interview for length, but I think you guys got the gist of it. Thanks for watching. Bye.